listening to the Becoming More Me podcast with me, Teresa Lear Levine. You're already enough. But if you're anything like me, you thrive when you're stretching and developing yourself, creating more of the person you feel called to be. This podcast is here to inspire and support you. Let's release the negative, reinforce the positive, and elevate our vibe together as we tap into our limitless potential to transform and grow. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to part 2 of My Boys, My World. I'm going to jump right into this episode and we're going to continue with the interviews from Jordan and Jaden. So, like I said at the end of the last episode, this has been a very different process of recording and editing and everything else. Usually my podcasts are done in one take at one time, and this has been created with many different recording snippets and things. So it's just been a different process, and kids say the darndest things. So it's been fun. These were unscripted interviews. I had 0 questions prepared in advance. And other than Jace having the idea that started this all about beginning with the topic of pizza, if you've listened to part 1, you know what I'm talking about. Everything else has just flowed. And I've just basically asked my kids, hey, do you want to be part of this? They all said yes. And they just showed up with whatever was on their mind that day. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope that just like I do every day with my own kids, you have some little takeaways or aha moments that can just simply only be brought to us through the mind of those young people in the world who are still so much more connected to source energy than we are in our older years. So tap into it. It's an amazing resource to reconnect yourself with that which you are, pure source energy. Enjoy. All right, we're continuing on with the littlest Levine, Jordan. And Jordan.
No, Mowgli's the littlest Levine.
This is true. Our puppy who is
Peacock.
now. No, Peacock is older than Mowgli.
But he's the smallest.
I know, he is the smallest. This is an interesting thing because one is older than the other, but smaller. And the other is larger, but younger. So we have Mowgli, our yellow lab, who just turned 1 around Thanksgiving. And then we have Peacock, the beta fish, whose age is unknown, but we've had him for at least a couple of years now, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's true.
And then we have Lotki, who is 10 and change. So you're younger than Lotki. And Jordan and I made these really cool microphones for our interview today. So maybe we should just hold these up as if they're like the ones that are doing it. And it was actually our news channel was going to be Mowgli News, named after the dog. Anyway, so I'm going to interview Jordan next. Jordan is my kindergartner. He is 6. He is always full of surprises. And I personally, Jordan, I love the things that you come up with to say. Like, you say things that sometimes either just make me laugh or sometimes just make me cry because they're just so sweet and so thoughtful. And you're making the goofiest face right now for those of you who are not watching. I'm not sure if his eyeballs are going to pop out of his head or what, but I think there's a lot of excitement in the house about being on Mom's podcast today. So, Jordan, what do you think about EFT tapping?
I think it's good.
Yeah. Now, your brother was
Helps
just
me
in here.
relax and-
Yeah, your brother was just in here saying that you don't do it and that he does it more than you. But I know for a fact that I think I can say this.
It's true that I do it more to him.
Jordan does it the most. So,
Yeah.
Jordan and I will have these shower sessions where we do EFT,
Yeah,
won't we?
sometimes we're in the shower and it's nice to just feel the warm water flush and then just tap.
Yeah.
And I had this bad dream and it helped me to really calm down with tapping. EFTs are great thing.
Yeah. And what do you think about the work that Mommy does? It's good. Well, we've lost him. He's dropped his mic. It was apparently a mic drop moment. Jordan is really getting into writing a lot. He was just creating a menu for his new restaurant that he runs. Both Jordan and Jace like to do very real life restaurant scenarios now, which has been a big, huge
Yep.
help for me and my husband.
Yep.
Jace's restaurant is called the Green Swivel. Have you
And
named yours?
mine's
Sit up so we can hear you in the microphone.
Mine's called Gold Fine Food.
Ooh, I didn't even know it had a name yet, but there you have it. You heard it first here on the Becoming More Me podcast. Gold Find Food.
Yes.
I will be dining there later, I'm sure. But it has been great because when we are having a day that feels a little busy or like we've got a lot going on, we can just be like, hey, open up Gold Find Food. Hey, Green Swivel, give us the menu. And, frozen pizza, a Hot Pocket, or a bowl of cereal is on its way. So it has been clutch, absolutely clutch. So
Yep.
yep. What are some of your favorite things these days, Jordan?
Well, Minecraft, YouTube, open up Gold Find Food, and mostly making art.
So Jordan is, I think, my third kiddo to be into Minecraft, and I've got to say, I still don't get it. But I love the idea of a portal. Do you think that in our life here on Earth, there's anything that's like a portal? No?
But probably there is that leads to God.
You think?
Yeah, probably there's a portal in heaven.
Yeah. What do you think things are like after we die? Or do you think we even can die?
I think we can die. But luckily we have polices and stuff in our family. Just police. You're working for EFT. You can calm us down. It's pretty good. My family's great. My mom and dad are amazing.
Well, thank you. That was not prompted and lovely. Well, thank you for being here, Jordan. Do you have any other ideas about the world or transformation or life or love or anything else?
The world's always spinning. That's why we get air. Okay, you probably already knew that, but okay.
All right. Well, thank you for being here.
But last but not least, I would like to say thank you for being with me and Mommy. My moms are really good.
Aw, I love you, buddy.
Especially that ice cream after Bluey's big play and going to Bluey's big play.
Oh, did you love that?
Yes. So
Yeah.
Bluey's big play was like there was just these people holding up these big puppets of the Bluey Healer family.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, so there would be like a noise machine that would like act their noise and what they wanted to say. And so it's like, so Bluey's big play at the end, the mom figure, which is what they say, mum instead of mom.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's spelled differently. It spells M-U-M and not M-O-M like in our state.
In our culture, yeah.
And so at the end, Mom says, like, you could also call her Chili because
That's her first
Chili.
name. Yep.
And Dad banned it because that's Bandit. That's the dad's real name.
Those are the characters on Bluey.
Bingo and Bluey. Those are all the 4 characters. And at the end, Mom was like, who wants to play Keepy Uppy? And then balloons just went all over the place.
Yeah, well, we went to see Bluey's big play.
They were very big balloons. I wanted to throw it off the cliff.
They were huge. They were like 4 to 5 foot diameter, big bouncy balls that were all over the Kennedy Center bouncing around. And then we went out and we got ice cream. That
it was really delicious. It was called
Nice Cream.
Yeah, Nice Cream.
Yep, they made it with liquid. They made it with liquid nitrogen.
Yeah, it was mixers really cool to feel it.
With really fresh ingredients. I still can almost taste the sweet potato pie ice cream that I had. It was really good, a strange flavor, but I'm so glad I tried it because it was absolutely delicious. And this week's spring break, dude. So we've been doing all sorts of fun things this week too, with more to come. And being being on Mom's podcast is just one of those things. So, cheers with our microphones here, buddy. Hold up your microphone with me. And thank you for being here with me.
I'm happy to be here. Goodbye.
When I started doing this podcast recording, I wasn't sure if I was going to get 1 kid, 2 kids, 3 kids, or 4 kids. And I am interviewing the 4th. He's actually the 1st right now. And my son Jaden's here. Hey, Jaden.
Hello.
We don't know what we're talking about, so this could go anywhere. But yeah, Jaden's my oldest. He's 17, soon to be 18. And so we've got a lot of interesting conversations and decisions happening around the house right now because college is approaching. So what are we talking about, dude? So I guess with each of your brothers, I think I'm trying to remember now, the conversation of like what I do for a living came up and if they've ever tried it. Some were like, works like a charm, and some were like, no. So, what are your thoughts on what Mom does or tapping or any of that?
I mean, I stay away. But it's, I mean, not because it's evil or anything. It's just like, it's what she does. And I don't need to do that to exist. I don't feel like always. And like, I find my own ways to deal with things.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So what are your favorite ways then of helping yourself get through emotional issues if you don't enjoy tapping?
Doing something like kind of mindless. Going outside, you know. I like outside. Outside is cool.
Outside is good.
Basketball, longboarding. Let's see. Working out's been fun recently.
Yeah.
Journaling at night.
That's
awesome. Cool. Yeah, those are the main ways. I mean, yeah.
I think journaling like got me through middle school and high school. I think
I didn't know I needed it until I tried it, and then it's like, oh, this is kind of nice.
I remember, and they're probably in our basement somewhere, and you'll have fun finding them if ever you look through my things. But I think all of my journals are still down there from middle school, and I'd have like a couple of close girlfriends, and for a few years there, we would actually write journals that we would share with each other and pass back and forth.
Whoa.
So like we would share the details of whatever was going on or whatever we were trying to figure out in our heads, and then we'd like pass it off to the next friend, and then they'd add to it, or they'd like answer or comment, and then we pass it to the next one. But it was like this trusted like triad of only like 3 of us that we were willing to kind of share it all with.
So weird.
But that was back in the days too, like when you could, I don't know, things are different, phones and stuff now. Like that would be, it was like a notebook, like a normal notebook, and we'd be in class like writing in this journal instead of like writing our assignments. And then we'd pass each other in the halls on the way to another class, and we just hand the journal off. But yeah, that's how I processed a lot of things.
So crazy.
And I always had a diary until, well, I mean, I know like my gratitude journals and things like that, but I don't journal as much as I used to in that way. But that's definitely a good way to get things off of your mind and your heart and to process them. I'm glad you're doing that. I never feel like tapping needs to be the way that people process things, but for me, I found it very, very helpful.
Also, dogs help.
Oh yeah, you're petting our dog Mowgli right now. And Mowgli has been the subject of, I think, everybody's interview in one way or another. And you going to come into the frame there, Mogs? Yeah, if you're watching the video, you can see Mowgli. He's a hugger. And yeah, the dogs are very regulating, like literally. Like when you think about nervous system regulation, having a pet, especially like a warm-blooded pet like a dog, is extremely regulating. I can think of a lot of times when I would just like hug on the dogs and in different dogs throughout my life, because we've had more than just the 2 that we have now over the years, and just assumed that they understood everything better than anybody else. I think sometimes they do.
Yeah.
We got Lotkie over there on the couch. So you've been around for both of these dogs' entire lives. And Lotkie was a puppy when you were just what seems like a little kid, at least compared to now.
Yep.
So you'll be heading off to college at some point this year. And what's the vantage point on that? Get as far away from home as possible, or
no travel distance, but like not like, oh, let's come visit every weekend. Like I'm actually good. Actually. No. Maybe sometimes.
I'm excited for you to realize how good you have it.
Mhm. I know
I'm
you
not gonna lie.
I mean, I
I
know
was
it's good.
thinking,
I just there's other things in life.
oh yeah, no, it's the ultimate goal to be able to raise a kid to the point of them being educated enough, happy enough, healthy enough that they can leave the home and go on to the next step, you know? But it feels
Yeah.
like the end of an era, you know? We're getting ready, we're planning our summer vacation, as you know, and we actually, for those of you who are listening, we just finally we booked a home in Cape Cod for a week in July. So we will be heading up there and very excited to enjoy that. And I said to my husband when we were planning it, I'm like, I want a trip that honors my nervous system because so often we travel, you know this, like we'll travel and we'll stay in like a hotel for a night or two, and then go to another hotel, and we move about and we do things, but it can be a little dysregulating, and it's also a lot of fun. Like I don't have regrets about the ways that we've traveled or the things that we've gotten to see and do because of hopping around, but this time I just really wanted to rent a home and be there all week. Have a home base, a place that we can just chill, actually unpack our suitcases, settle in,
I
make some
never
stuff
unpack my
up.
suitcases.
Well, maybe you will this time because we'll be there
Mhm.
all
I
week.
don't even unpack my suitcases when I'm here.
Yeah, this is true. Well, Jaden has the unique difference in our family of going back and forth a lot because Jaden's from my first marriage, and so he spends a lot of time going back and forth to his dad's and here, and that has had you living out of suitcases for a lot of your life.
I'm kind of good at it.
Yeah. How does that feel though? How's that like? Does that affect you in any negative way?
No.
No.
I mean, the bags unfold nicely. You see everything, You get your little packing cubes or you just throw your dirty laundry in a bag and you wash it when you get there, and then everything's
This
folded
is
after you
true.
do your laundry.
Yeah. You and I share a love of organizing things and also some
Not
issues
organizing things.
organizing things. So
Yeah.
yeah, as I got older, because I used to have more of the piles and things like you, and I would distract myself from the things that I actually needed to do by tidying up things that definitely did not need to be tidied up, and then I would do more of that. So that's something that, well, for me, tapping has gotten me more in touch with like when I'm numbing or when I'm buffering with an activity that has nothing to do with my goals or what I actually want to accomplish, and when I'm actually doing something that's like taking me to the next level of where I want to be and who I want to be.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What else you want to talk about? I'll leave some room for you to have some ideas if you want to talk about anything in particular.
Nutrition is cool.
Ooh, I like nutrition too. That's
Recently.
another area where I feel like we've been able to jive more in recent years.
Yeah.
Because I don't think anybody appreciated my knowledge in that department.
Well, no, I mean, nobody cares until they care, and then they.
Yeah, okay. So you don't know what you don't know until you know it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
But like
yeah.
eating things that aren't like from boxes of like cooking things a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't do much, but
No, it's been fun to see you take an interest in being in the kitchen, even if it's just to like learn how to make a chicken breast, or we
That's
had
about
fun
it.
like making some of those protein balls or whatever the other week and stuff. That's stuff that I like imparting, that kind of stuff. I feel like there's several things that kids are not raised in, at least in the school system, to know. And like one, I'd say like nervous system regulation, however you're going to do it, is a really important thing to understand. Money is another thing that people don't teach kids much about.
They teach us, the kids just don't listen.
Yeah, but it's not a realistic way either. I
There's
mean,
some semi-realistic stuff, but it's
really, what have you learned about money in school? Like, what have they taught you in
I
school?
mean, it was all in COVID year for us, well, which didn't help. But like that, like really, right when we went into COVID year, we had that financial like literacy unit in U.S. history
So in
or
history,
U.S. government,
okay,
U.S. government, I think, has a
that's
section on it,
all right.
and that's what I'd be doing in the mornings. Like that
What
was
kind
my
of things
first
do they
lesson
teach you in
was
that? What's financial literacy?
about different loans, like what like different types of ways to grow your money, whether it
Okay.
be investments or bonds or
Okay.
like the
Was that around the same time that you wanted to open the investment account and then we opened the investment account?
oh, it was, I did that a little bit later,
A little
but it
later?
was,
Okay.
yeah, it was around that time.
Did it play a part in your interest?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's
I
good.
mean, it definitely like let me see that there's other stuff to do with my money other than just go spend it at Target or whatever the heck I thought there was to do at that time. But I think that it helped a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think enough gets taught about understanding money, managing money, building and growing wealth and assets and things like that
And
at all.
managing, you have to have money to manage money. And like you don't really learn that until you start making money. I feel like, which isn't really something that's encouraged as early anymore. It's more like school, 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 school. Where I used to be more so like work and school, or like you want to balance between that and
See, I think that's
relationships,
tough.
and there's not as much of a balance anymore. It's more so just school.
Yeah, our time is like really like stretched thin, I think, even like from as early as I think for you, like around middle school, it felt like you had a lot less time. But I mean, you've had a lot of good interests in school and things that you've been able to learn and grow with, but I don't feel like there was the same spaciousness of time that I had when I was in middle school or high school.
Yeah.
I was always protective of having free time. And I feel like even when I protect you and your brother's free time by not overscheduling you with extracurriculars or things,
It just
it's
fills up.
still, for me at least, parenting, like even if each one of you does one extracurricular activity and it only meets one day a week, it still doesn't leave a whole lot of time.
No.
And yeah, that's why with your brother we opted for soccer that only meets one day a week. And
yeah,
that's that. But I don't think anybody likes running around and running ragged. But
no.
yeah,
But like even like school sports are unattainable in a way that like they meet every single day after school except Sundays. I'm like,
yeah,
who has time for 2 to 3 hours every day to just like let me do this? Like you have to really commit to it, and like it doesn't give you much room for exploration.
says he who's wearing the robotics t-shirt just got done with a full weekend at district championships and would spend how many days a week for how many hours at a time doing that?
4 days a week, 4 hours.
At least. The weekends were longer.
The weekends are 8 hours. So
yeah, it's a hefty commitment. I mean, it's great. And I think, you've learned so much through that, and that robotics program's
5
awesome.
hours average a day, so 20 hours.
That's a part-time job. I mean, that's like more hours than you normally get at your part-time job.
Yeah. I get like 5.5 hours at my part-time job.
That's like all you really have too. Yep. Like when it comes down to it, like 1 or 2 days a week is really all you have to work. And I think that's like kind of sucks that kids are kind of in a position of like all the school and academics and sports. And then like a lot of kids probably not until college or thereafter are actually like really getting their first taste of earning their own money and having to manage it. And I think that's rough.
It's not encouraged to earn money until you need money, and then you need money, it's too late to earn money.
Yeah. I mean, I remember taking like my Red Cross babysitters class or whatever when I was in 4th grade, I think. Maybe 5th grade. It was early, but like, I mean, I can't even imagine leaving you guys in the care of a 4th grader, but like parents did it back then. And I was like, I'm cooking dinner and stuff too. Like, I wasn't just like, hey, I'll hold down the fort for an hour or two. Like parents would go out. I had to put not babies, they were like young children that were younger than me as a 4th grader, to bed, make them dinner, clean up, all that kind of stuff, and make my, I don't even know what it was, $2.50, $3.50, whatever. But, I enjoyed like learning how to like balance my checkbook and all that kind of stuff early on. And, but I mean, I had my limitations too, because, money was kind of a taboo topic, it wasn't really something that my parents talked about or educated me about or anything. So yeah, it is what it is. But I'm glad that you're getting some exposure to that in school, at least more than I realized that you had.
Just a little bit, not too much, and most of it's forgotten. But
yeah,
that's how school is too.
Yeah, but it's been fun too with the nutrition and having those interests kind of converge and being able to impart some of that, because that was the other thing I was going to say, like nutrition, money, and like emotional regulation, nervous system regulation, like understanding like your own psychology and mental health. I think that those are 3 areas that are undereducated on, that everybody really deserves a better start with than they tend to get.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for being open to chatting with me. I
Yeah.
really thought I was going to get shot down by the teenager. Well, I can't even call him the teenager anymore. We have two. We have two teenagers now in the house. Even you're like, what? Yeah, Jonah turned 13 last month.
Doesn't count. That's
But
crazy.
I appreciate it. And thank you guys for tuning in and listening also. So I never really know what my kids are going to have to say or what they're going to be interested in or what they're going to think is cool. But I was personally delighted that they were interested in being part of my show. I mean, the excitement around here was tangibly real and building all morning once I told them that today was the day that we could record the podcast episode. And I just think that's so neat. I love that maybe I'm inspiring a creative spark in them to do something interesting like this with their own passions and interests. And I hope that this was just a fun glimpse inside of my world outside of being a professional woman, an entrepreneur, an EFT master practitioner, and hypnotherapist, and all those other things into the personal side of what happens at home. I mean, this office that I record these podcasts in is just one door away from the rest of my home. And depending on what hours I'm doing things, kids are here or they're at school, husband's here, or he's at work. It's a revolving door around here. And I feel so grateful that I get to do everything from helping my clients to helping my children to enjoying my marriage and all of just the amazing parts of this precious life here in this amazing home of ours. And I thank you for your interest in getting a little taste of it all and for your acceptance of me as a whole person, as someone who is doing all of those things and is working through her own problems too. You know, we never can tap or hypnotize ourselves out of the human condition. And why would we want to? And there's just always something new and fun to work on in our life. And the perspective is really so very important. And I've got to say that having four boys around me is such a cool perspective shifter. And they really do remind me day in and day out about what's important and to not take things so seriously. And they make me feel so loved and so beautiful and so just perfect the way I am, no matter how I show up. You know, I could have a bad day and scream and yell and behave badly. And at the end of it, we're all still loving each other, still doing the things. They're still accepting me. And you know what? They have bad days and do the same thing. And nothing is perfect over here, but there is a lot of love. There is a lot of real conversation and real talk about things. It's very important to me to raise well-rounded boys who understand things that parents and culture were not as open about expressing. And honestly, I don't even know if my parents would have known how to express the kinds of things that are now being shared so openly with kids and that I'm definitely, starting conversations with mine around. So, yeah, it's a neat time to be a parent. It can be a challenging or even a scary time to be a parent, but again, I think that comes back to our perspective and what we focus on, we create more of. And my focus is just on my love of these crazy, wild, amazing boys who have come into this world through me, but have never for one day belonged to me, and who I'm just so grateful to get to share life and love and experiences with. So, back to spring break and enjoying more of those. And yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks so much for listening. If you loved this episode, please share it with a friend or post on social media and tag me so I can personally connect and thank you. Until next time, keep taking bold and brave action steps towards becoming more of who you want to be in this world. You are capable, you are worthy, and you are enough. Keep shining your light.